Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott. Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Learn more about the Experience community at our website, local.theexperience.video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The Experience is brought to you each week by these great sponsors. Present Gifting believes relationships are important. Moments matter. Join the early VIP access list at presentgifting.com. The Gillot Home Team. Their mission is to deliver the key to home ownership through stellar customer service, integrity, and joy. Learn more at teamgillot.com. Capital Mortgage Source. Your trusted mortgage professional is just a click away. Learn more at capitalmortgagesource.com and call the office at 541-829-8042. James Reed & Associates, specializing in comprehensive coverage for nonprofits, ministries, small businesses, and personal lines of coverage. JamesReedAgency.com. Call the office at 503-588-8229. And now let's get on with the show.
Ta-da! Here we are live with Russ and Scott on The Experience, and so thankful for our experience of life, and so thankful for all the amazing guests we have here, Scott, right? Every Wednesday.
Absolutely. And I'm happy to not be doing our show from the side of the highway somewhere.
Yes. On Monday, I had to do the show from the side of the highway. But you know what? That's the beautiful thing about technology. You were able to pull it off. It sounded great, and so great to be able to do that. And, I just want to tell everybody, The Experience Live with Russ and Scott is all about amazing people and their experience of life, and what Scott and I have been going through in the experience of life as well. But we are just so thankful to be able to add value to all of you every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. But you know what? If you miss it live, it sits there on LinkedIn and YouTube forever and on Facebook for 30 days. And guess what? If you miss it and can't watch it, it also converts to audio podcasts. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, on and on and on, iHeartRadio. It goes on and on. All the opportunities to listen or watch. Please like, share, and comment wherever your favorite platform is. We'd appreciate that so much. And Scott, just coming back off PodFest, it's been pretty amazing.
Oh, absolutely. There's about 2,000 folks there, lots of creators, podcasters, of course, but all kinds of folks doing live streaming, doing the editing, being the behind the stage crew, teaching people how to use the technology to share the stories of everyone that's out there. And even the story of The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. I know we learned a lot. We're going to be sharing more about what we learned. But one of the things that I just want to say about The Experience is we are in year 6 now, Russ. Hard to believe.
Wow.
And I was just thinking, the very first episode was with Brian Schulman. We were able to meet Brian in 3D for the first time there in Orlando, Florida. That first episode, I woke up to no power in the house. I had to hop in the car and get to a place where I could get a reasonable cell signal, park at 7 a.m. in January in Western Oregon. It's dark. And so my sole lighting source was the dome light from the car. I used 2 rubber bands to hold my phone onto the rearview mirror. That was my whole technical setup. Life happens, and then you choose, right?
Every day.
But I just want to tell you, we're in year 6, and every month Netflix is extracting money out of your account. We have 6 years here where we're starting year 6. So we got 5 full years of The Experience. Cancel Netflix, subscribe on YouTube. And when you're binge watching, you binge watch The Experience, and you get to learn from remarkable people like Neal Schaffer. That's our guest for today.
Oh my goodness. Yes. And some of the highlights for me were meeting the people I've known for so long. You brought up Brian and Nancy, but you know
Mhm.
what? Neal, such an amazing man, has been on a couple of my live streams, such a good friend, really was a blessing promoting and just talking up my book coming out, and all the things. And when I was there, he was just the same. Right off the bat, he's complimenting me, just being such a blessing. And I thought, you know what a great man. And I'm so excited. When I got back, I lost track of the schedule, and I got back and I looked at who was on for Wednesday, and I went, all right, it's Neal. Woohoo. So, so
Oh
I'm
my
super
gosh.
excited for
Well,
that.
that's exciting. I will just throw out one more person that we got to talk to who wasn't actually a part of Podfest, but took a 6-hour round trip train trip
Oh yeah.
to
Oh
uh,
yeah.
to come and have lunch with us. Roz Rosado had a 3-hour one-way train ride, and she came just for lunch to have with us,
Yeah.
and that was one of the most remarkable conversations of that whole experience there in Orlando.
Oh my goodness. She was such a blessing, such a good friend. Oh my goodness. I
Mhm.
can't even begin to tell you. And she was so I told her, when we got together, I said, well, I'm gonna do my best, but I had warned her my hearing is horrible. And she's like, hey, it's all good. My husband's the same way. It'll just be like talking to my husband. I said, so there you go. So you're used to it. But she was such a great person to do that and meet us there. And she was so excited. She was so excited to come up, which made us feel really good. So, but
Yeah,
speaking of excited, you know what? Neal has got so much going on. I want to get him in here and start talking about things. Before we do that, just want to tell everybody, go to local.theexperience.video for more information about Scott and I, not just about the experience local, the Waco experience, the experience backstage, all the things we're doing, but also about our other live streams and about life. And so go there today. And if you want to join our YouTube page, you can do it there, or you can go directly to the experience.video to our YouTube page. Please sign up and subscribe. And before we get started today, please share this out with your friends. Please let them know that we're on, because it is busy times for everybody. So please share, tag your friends, let them know, because Neal's got great value to add. Want to make sure that you get everybody coming on in, let them know what's happening. And with that, Scott, I think we're going to get moving. What do you think?
absolutely, absolutely.
All right. All right, Mr. Neal Schaffer. Hey, Neal.
Hey, gentlemen. Good morning.
I am just so thankful to have been connected with you. You are a bright spot in my life, and I want to tell you how much I appreciate you. And so I know how amazing you are and all the things you're doing, but tell everybody, who in the world is Neal Schaffer? What are you up to?
Well, Russ, Scott, first of all, thank you so much for the kind words. I'm sort of blown away. I'm just, just a normal guy in the world, just trying to do the right thing, add value, make friends, and leave this place a better place, right? Than before we came. So I am a fractional CMO. So I'm a digital marketing expert, author, consultant, speaker. I love helping entrepreneurs and small businesses really leverage the potential to improve their business, improve the lives of their customers, and improve their own lives. So in a nutshell, I do that. One of the things I do is I write books like Russ, which is one of the reasons why we hit it off so well. I also have a podcast like Russ. But it's really about sharing stories like what we're doing today, which, I'm a big fan of Russ, and I'm meeting Scott for the first time here virtually, but excited to be part of this live experience this morning.
And Neal, you've written books. You use the internet to connect with people, which many of us do. But you physically travel as well, and I'm thinking of Japan specifically. I want to hear
Yes.
more. I want to hear more.
Okay. Well, it really begins with my growing up. I grew up in an area of Southern California. I'm currently in Orange County, California, where I'm broadcasting. But I grew up in an area
Where I was
where.
born, I was born in the city of Orange. So keep going.
Oh, nice. Okay. I'm actually in Irvine, which has changed a heck of a lot since you were born in Orange, I'm sure. But hey, Old Town Orange is still there, and it's still wonderful. I I guest lecture at Chapman University sometimes, and yeah, it's a beautiful community. But yeah, so I grew up in an area where there were a lot of Asian Americans, and most of my friends, if not all of my friends, became Asian American. So in high school, right? So I began this journey of like, why? What is the connection? It led me to this path of self-discovery. And in college, I studied Mandarin Chinese. I did my junior year abroad in Beijing. And then my roommate and most of the foreign students in Beijing were Japanese. So that led to an interest in Japanese culture. And it was when I graduated from university, it was the bubble economy, they call it in Japan. It was booming. They were buying out American real estate. And, I thought I should learn Japanese too. And I decided to actually start my career in Japan. So after I graduated from university, I went straight out to Kyoto, Japan, and worked at a semiconductor manufacturer that was headquartered there. Ended up living in Japan for 15 years, did a lot of travel, a lot of work in Asia, met my beautiful wife. And when we had our baby girl, that was the time where we decided, time to come back to the United States. So we speak Japanese as our first language in our house. And I'm also a fluent speaker, obviously. And because of that, obviously, I go back to Japan, and I've made an effort to really try to network a lot there, build relationships there, and generate business so that when we go back to Japan, there's work for me to do there as well. So that sort of explains that whole Japanese side and why I invested in that market, early on, just networking, meeting people in social media marketing, meeting people like us, podcasters and YouTubers, and then getting introductions to businesses, and then getting business from that over the course of really 15 years. That has led to me having a pipeline there and the ability to go back there often and actually work there while I'm there.
Well, it's so amazing, Neal. We've talked about this before, but I'm a firm believer the connection and community building is at the heart, the foundation of everything that we do. Any good marketing plan, any good business, really any good life. And so you and I had talked about this before, but it opened so many doors. I actually had somebody at PodFest ask me the question that so many people ask, because my show that you were on, Marketing with Russ, is how amazing people connect. And she's like, what does connection really have to do with marketing? And I'm like, really? I'm like, okay. And so what was so funny though, I had a really nice conversation with her. And by the end of it, she basically told me everything that I state in a different way, and basically said, yes, people are everything we need for business, but I don't believe the connection is that. I'm thinking, okay, whatever. It was very funny, but this has opened, you said it, and this is what I want to accentuate, and that is it's opened so many doors to Japan and all the things you're doing there, to everything you do. Talk about the connection of all the communities and the opportunities, not just Japan, that you've had to then share and build and grow and help others.
Yeah, my career, my background before marketing is really B2B sales, biz dev, and I did it in technology, high tech in Asia, right? And primarily Japan. So when I came back to the US, I was in transition for the first time here. And because I started my career in Asia. So it began with me realizing that, LinkedIn is this really powerful tool. And where people were being very close with their connections, I was being very open. I actually wanted to meet people. And I knew that if I networked well online and in person, that would help me in my future career. So I became a really heavy, this is back in 2008, 2009, the last recession. Well, the one before the last recession. But anyway, so I became a very, very heavy user. And then I realized that there were opportunities, not just virtual, but in my community to network as well. So I would do searches on LinkedIn groups. I'd do searches on LinkedIn events, and I would find some local events where I would attend. And I would say, hey, if you have LinkedIn questions, let me know. I'd love to help you. And I became known as sort of like the LinkedIn person locally. But I met, a great number of people. I ended up starting my own LinkedIn group called SoCal Sushi, where we met every month at a sushi restaurant and did networking over lunch. That was a lot of fun. But just really, meeting and helping and not knowing, I wasn't in it for like quid pro quo. I didn't have that objective, but I just knew that the more people I knew and got to know, and the more people I helped, I know that bank account of karma is going to pay dividends in the future. So it was really with that hope and that feeling, and that, wanting to offer value and add, that I began to grow this very large community. And that community really is what led to my being able to write my first book and publish my first book and get speaking opportunities and then get consulting opportunities. So that's really, I would say that community helped really launch my business. And, still keeping in touch with them. But I think over time, we build our network, we build our community, and then we stop networking. We stop meeting new people. And I think that we always have to be, just like when you're in sales, you always need to add new prospects to your pipeline. We always need to be adding new people, fresh energy, fresh experiences, fresh perspectives, especially that as we get older, the generations change, the trends change. And you really need to keep your finger on the pulse of what is going on in the world, what's going on in our nation, what's going on in our community, what's going on with people. And you can only do that when you're constantly meeting new people. So like you, Russ and Scott, I mean, PodFest was an amazing experience. Great to see old friends, but equally great to make new ones.
Well, I just want to follow up on that, and Neal, and say that you and I have talked about this before, but I totally agree. Everybody talks about the know, like, and trust, getting to know new people. And it's like it's a ladder. Like you get to the top, know, like, and trust, and everybody, woo, it's all over, right? But it's not, because know, like, and trust is like a wheel. It is a continual thing, just like you talked about. Know, like, and trust, know, like, and trust. You're constantly getting to know, to like, and trust new people. And that is what keeps things going for you, because it's like anything. If you market and you become big and then you stop, people forget about you really fast. And so you not only do you need to continue to get new people, but you can continue to stay connected with the communities that you're connected with, right?
Yeah. And I would say another really important concept I learned over time is you also have to support your network when they need you.
Right.
And this is the mistake I see some make, and I've made in the past as well, is not it's you're not just like collecting friends, but when they need you, you need to help them, no matter how busy you are, because that's the whole idea of building a community, is they support you, you support them. So it is a lifelong thing. And like you say, Russ, it's, it never ends. And that aspect of supporting your current network as well means that never ends as well. It just becomes a part of who you are as a professional and as a human being. But I think it's extremely, to me, it's uplifting to be able to engage and help. And just, know as you network and make friends, just look for those signals when people need you. They may not say that they need you when they do. And, always be proactively reaching out. I just published a new edition of my Maximizing LinkedIn for Business Growth book. And I added a chapter on personal CRMs, because I believe that we are all not good at keeping up with our connections and our friends and our networks. And we should be doing that more on a regular basis, more proactively. And I'm on a mission. That's one of my New Year's resolutions this year, is to become a better, follow-upper and a better keep in toucher, just to maintain those relationships.
Follow-upper. There you go. That's tweetable if we were back in the tweet days.
I am not a morning person, so you're going to hear lots of weird stuff from me this morning.
Well, I love it, and I appreciate that you're here. Community is so important. Our friends in the psychology world will talk about support, and there's two types of support. There's enacted support. That's where you're actually holding the door open for people or bringing meals to them when they're sick. Enacted support. And then there's perceived support, and that's just knowing that, hey, Russ has got my back. Neal's got my back. If I needed something, I could call Neal. If I had a question about LinkedIn, I could call Neal and he'd help me out. And just knowing that is actually more important than the enacted support. And so I want to go a little bit more into some of the practical concepts that you bring up in your book. And I know you just published, this month, right? Available on Amazon.
Yes.
Right there.
And January 1st. Oh, that's the advanced list. Yes. January
Congratulations.
1st. Thank you.
And so many people, I think, have a misunderstanding of what LinkedIn is. They say, well, I'm not looking for a job, so why would I be on LinkedIn? Can you give us a true view of LinkedIn and some of the practical tips that people are going to find when they buy your book? And I say, when they buy your book.
Well, thank you. Yeah. They've been saying the same thing about LinkedIn for more than a decade. I would just say that LinkedIn is social media. It's a professional network. And, Facebook originally was for college students. And back in the day, a lot of adults are like, why would we go on Facebook? But now it's become a daily part of our life. LinkedIn is no different. I think it's the way that people approach it where the issue is. And the LinkedIn user interface has a, it has a different vibe than Facebook. But I will say that with the changing of generations, at the beginning when I was on LinkedIn back in 2008, it was, there wasn't a lot going on. There wasn't, a lot of people weren't publishing content. It seemed like, oh, I just, put up my resume and I'm gone. But over time, more and more people have become active. More and more people are sharing content. And I'll tell you, you see a lot of content these days to the lament of older LinkedIn users that you would also see on Facebook. People sharing experiences. Hey, went to Podfest, had a great time. So when you start to look at it that way, well, what's the difference between LinkedIn and Facebook? Well, LinkedIn is really more of a professional environment. So we all work for a living, right? So that professional aspect of ourselves is a part of our life. Why not lean into that and begin to use LinkedIn as a place where we can enrich our professional careers, not necessarily looking for a job, but meeting with our peers, meeting with people that we know that we're friends with on Facebook, but maybe there's some people that are actually more active on LinkedIn like I am than Facebook. You have a much better chance of finding me on LinkedIn than on Facebook. So it's really looking at, keeping up with your friends. It's not just Facebook. It's not just Instagram. We're all over the place, but LinkedIn is also an equally important place. But when you're on LinkedIn, it's just a more serious place and for more serious conversations. And the benefit is that that's where, we call them centers of influence if you're in like real estate or insurance, but that's where a lot of influential professionals and business people are, whether it's in your community, in your industry, in your company. So it just makes a lot of sense to, see how you might be able to use that for your own career, but also make friendships. People talk about networking events locally on LinkedIn as well. Like I said, I get caught up with old friends on LinkedIn. When I studied in Beijing, China, there were only 20 Americans that year. And 3 of those people found me on LinkedIn because I put the fact that I was a foreign student in Beijing at that time on my LinkedIn profile. So you can get caught up with people there as well as a way to begin your journey. But I think just as a way to enrich our professional lives. And if you want to do any learning, so if you want to learn about AI, for instance, you'll find a number of great mentors that are sharing a lot of great content on LinkedIn. That's the sort of thing you really won't see a lot of on Facebook, which tends to be a little bit more noisier. So, hey, keep in touch with your family and friends on Facebook. That's awesome. Post your pics on Instagram. LinkedIn is just a whole other world that I think would add a lot of value to anybody listening.
I agree 100%. In fact, I have found, Neal, that exact thing. And that is, when you have a group of people that really want to develop relationships, want to do life and business together, they care about who you are. And so if you are, I think, thoughtful about what you post, but you give it a little personal touch, going through my cancer journey, I can't tell you the number of people on LinkedIn that have been there praying and been supporting me and all of that. They care about that. And the numbers are in the tens of thousands for that, as compared to some of my business posts that maybe don't do quite as well. People, even in business, want to know who I am, know what I'm going through and be supportive. But what you said earlier, and this is kind of the whole go-giver theory, and that is we need to give to others. We need to support others. We need to be there for others. And when you do that, then they are there for you, right?
Oh, amen. Amen. And, LinkedIn's interesting because it isn't Facebook. So there's some things that you might not want to talk about as much as you might on Facebook. So, Russ, the 3 gentlemen standing next to me at the author meet and greet, they wrote a book on daily devotions and they wanted to get more active on LinkedIn. I go, there are some people that talk about religion on LinkedIn, not to the extent you see it on Facebook, but, belief and motivation and faith in general is a topic that we talk about in the business world, right? And, if 50% of American professionals or 50% of Americans are devout Christians, then 50% of LinkedIn professionals are probably devout Christians as well. So how can you mirror that to the professional life, to your career? And if you look at these topics in a broader perspective, then you can tap into things like leadership and devotion or all these professional aspects of life, right? So I think it's just a matter of, if you don't want to go 100% professional on LinkedIn and you want to share a little bit about your personal journey, I think it's, when you wrap it in with your with your professional journey, it becomes really, really powerful. And I agree 100%, Russ. People do want to get to know you. And, yesterday I had my own mastermind group and we were doing a LinkedIn profile review, and someone had, it was clear it was written by ChatGPT, but it was this about section, this is what I do for a living and my job. I'm like, hey, why don't you inject a story in there? Right? Why do you do what you do? And whenever I do these LinkedIn profile audits for companies, I do them for a lot of like insurance salespeople, realtors. And I find that those like realtors that share their personal stories of why they do what they do, like why are you an agent? What got you into that? And realtors have some amazing stories. And if you share a little bit of that story, it creates, once again, marketing is about connection. It creates that emotional hook that draws people in versus all the other people that don't tell any stories or they don't tell anything personal. So it can be scary on LinkedIn to be a little bit personal, but it's the personal things that draw people to you that tend to get a lot more engagement in the feed these days. In fact, the number one post that will get you the most engagement ever is when you have a new job. And I think LinkedIn, the algorithm actually pushes this a little. But when you announce, and if you haven't done this before, if you change jobs, got a promotion, or you're just logging in, definitely create one of these posts, because that will get you, massive exposure to your network, and will get you off to a good start.
Well, and I just want to say that you are 100% correct. And people, if you really want to use ChatGPT or other AI to help you do that, if you give it a little bit of information about your story, it will, and it gets to know who you are. It will write some pretty good stuff that then you can go back and edit a little bit, and you can really have your story in there. Because a lot of people say, well, I need that help and I don't know what to write about myself. Well, let it help you. Let it give it some information about you, and then let it help you write your story, because that is what people want to know. They want to know you. Just like you're saying, Neal, your new job, what you're going through. If it is not Facebook is more of a, it can be a little bit more drama at times with things. So stay away from the drama. People on LinkedIn are not into drama, but they are into who you are. And so I think that's so important. Okay. Neal, I have to be the thoughtful and host that actually wraps things up here at the end. So we are nearing the end, and I want you to tell everybody, this has been such a powerful conversation. Give us your gold nugget, what you really want people to remember from today, and then let everybody know how they get in touch with you, because, man, I want to follow up with you already.
Well, thank you so much for those kind words, Russ. Yeah, I mean, the key word from the conversation is connect, right? Connect with others in your community physically, connect online. Every day, make it a habit of trying to connect with new people on LinkedIn. And in my book, one of the final chapters is this concept of a LinkedIn playbook of just daily things you do on LinkedIn that will help you grow your network and support your current network and help you establish your personal brand and reach your career goals. So my name is Neal Schaffer. You can find me anywhere online. I am the real Neal. So don't do the Starbucks barista mistake. It is Neal, not Kneel, like some baristas spell it. Half joking. But NealSchaffer. My books are on Amazon. Maximizing LinkedIn for Business Growth, like I said, is the newest one that I think will serve people well. But if you want some more digital marketing reads, I have a digital marketing strategy book, Digital Threads. I have a book on influencer marketing, Age of Influence, a book on social media marketing, Maximize Your Social. And I'm really excited this year. I want to put out a few new books. My next one is probably going to be an AI book for business people, more broad business. I can't wait to be able to share that with everybody. And I have a dedicated chapter in the Maximizing LinkedIn book on how to use AI and ChatGPT specifically for LinkedIn. So Russ, Scott, I'm excited for what 2026 is going to bring us all. And I can't wait to, AI, I'm sure you talk about it a lot on your live stream, but I see AI as a friend, as an assistant, and it actually helps me be more powerful, be more creative, and help more people. So I'm excited for what the year's going to bring.
Well, I just have to say, Mr. Genuflect Schaffer, it's nice to have you here as a part of our show. And we will schedule Amazon Live, because I would like to go live on Amazon
that'd be fine.
with you and talk about the current book, and then allude to this stuff that's coming up. And then when it goes live, or when you're in pre-order for the AI book, because people need to be informed consumers when it comes to AI, especially.
Well,
because if they don't, they'll be taken advantage of.
Yeah, there is, the concept is really, I haven't really told many people about it, so I'm sort of keeping it under wraps. But yeah, AI is just it just reminds me, gentlemen, of when the internet came out,
Mm.
and there were some people that were really good at finding information on the internet, which helped them with their personal life, their career, while others were like, why would you go on the internet and waste your time internet surfing? And I just see the same thing with AI. Those that are on it, early, that understand how it works, that use it to, look for information, help them do their work, help them fulfill their dreams. It saves time, it adds value, and it allows us to do better things, like actually be more human and spend more time with humans. And that I think is going to be the major thing we're going to find with AI. So yeah, I'm excited to be able to share more. And did we lose Scott?
Well, I think for the moment we have, but you know
no.
what? I'm sure he'll be back soon.
All righty.
Neal, I just want to thank you again. Such a blessing. We're definitely going to have you on again. Scott will get you on Amazon Live. And yeah, I'm going to actually
I can hear you and you can hear me, I think.
Oh, there you go.
For some reason, the Elgato camera hub said, yeah, I'm worn out.
Yeah.
Are you on the side of the road again, Scott?
Yeah. Well, you know what? We keep rolling no matter what. And that's the beautiful thing about lives. And again, Neal, thank you so much. We're going to say goodbye to you here on screen, but hang tight for just a minute as we wrap things up. All right.
Sounds like a plan.
Thanks, Neal. All right. Well, here I am with Scott's voice to say goodbye. And
yeah, I got this really cool avatar there, the Elgato camera. Well, I just want to say, Russ, it's always great to hang out with you here every Wednesday on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. Of course, people can find it on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, the audio on podcast platforms around the globe, wherever is your favorite. We're there. Yep. And right there, go to local.theexperience.video, learn about all the shows we have, find Russ's book, find my book. There's all kinds of information available. And again, cancel Netflix, save that money, take a cruise somewhere, binge the Experience Live with Russ and Scott.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, everybody, for subscribing on YouTube. And don't forget, even if you're watching this on replay, you can still share it out, still tag your friends, still connect with Neal, Scott, and I, or anybody in the comments. You can connect with each other. If you watch on replay, please put #Team Replay. If you're listening on audio podcast, please like and share wherever you're listening and let us know, because we appreciate that. It's available on all major podcast platforms. So thanks so much for that. And don't forget, we're here every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for your viewing and listening pleasure. And that is 9 a.m. Texas Standard Time, right, Scott?
Absolutely.
Yes.
We're here every Wednesday.
That's right. And we're so we always have such amazing guests like Neal. Until next week, we just want to let you know that we hope you have an amazing week and enjoy. Come on, Scott.
Enjoy the experience.
There you go. Enjoy the experience, everybody. See ya. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.